Verstappen, sorry, because he had that new engine in Brazil, which could help Red Bull onwards. However, you can clearly see McLaren with Norris improved. Piastri was not far away with
Yeah,
Norris in free
according that
practice
was
too.
running.
However, he was not far away, even though he was behind. However, you cannot really judge after that because he couldn't get the late run in for the soft tires where he only got them running for medium tires. A bit like Charles Leclerc as well.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, but I think yeah, it should be a battle between two Mercedes, Lando and Max. So another question: if and listen, we sometimes we see Ferrari sometimes
Hmm.
do well in practice, and then they do something in qualifying, and then they F it up in the qualifying race. But if they're at their best, if Leclerc shows the pace that he had in the two practices, if he's at his best, and Hamilton was, I thought, also was in a good lap before the second red flag, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
If Ferrari and Leclerc are at their best, do you think Leclerc could challenge for the pole and win if they are at their best, or do you think the pace of Mercedes will be too strong for Ferrari, especially in the characteristics of the car of Mercedes that suits them a lot in these kind of temperatures?
Mercedes are gonna be the best of the rest this weekend. Antonelli is doing very good, so I think Antonelli will be above Leclerc and Hamilton by like 100%. I'm 100% sure that they're gonna be above both Ferraris. Antonelli is gonna be above both Ferraris. Uh, Same with Russell. So yeah, I think both Mercedes drivers are gonna be above both Ferrari drivers.
Even if Ferrari are going to be, if Ferrari show their best like quality form.
I don't think I trust me. I never trust Ferrari. I know they had a good FP1 session, but FP1 session was very un representative because in FP2 before the red flag the racetrack was constantly evolving. Like the first run was already faster than FP1's time, best time. Like we've seen that. We've seen that. So I think as much as you look at FP1 and you say, oh yeah, Ferrari are gonna have a good weekend. I think all the times in FP1 were unrepresentative. Like just discount FP1. FP1 it does not matter. FP FP2 was a little bit more representative. If we didn't have the red flag, uh, if we didn't have the red flag, maybe we could have been discussing Ferrari being in a fight, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's all about who was able to put in a lap. And
Mhm. And
that's Formula
before,
One though. That's Formula One though. You gotta put in a lap. If you don't put in a lap in time, you're gonna be the one. Even if your car is the best, and if you don't put in a lap, you're gonna be the last. That's how Formula One is these days.
yeah, you're gonna be the victim.
You're gonna be the
So
victim. Yeah.
Leclerc, he looked fast in two practices, but however, he had a gearbox issue towards the end. Do you think that might cause Ferrari to change the gearbox for Leclerc and get a penalty? Because
There's
sometimes
no
we all know.
penalty.
Okay.
FIA have removed the penalty on gearboxes. At least that's what I heard from Palmer. He said that at the end, so it won't be an issue.
Mhm. Okay, so what's your predictions for pole position and before we start talking about the predictions, who do you think is going to be the best of the rest? Obviously, we all know the top four teams are.
Mm.
Who do you think is going to be the best of the rest? Is it going to be Williams, Aston Martin, Alpine? Who do you think will be?
It's gonna be Williams. They're good on top speed. They're good on high speed circuits, but there is an outlier, especially when it comes to the tire strategy. Uh, Kick or Sauber decided not to run the mediums and ran the hards. They were expecting low degradation, so that might, while other teams ran the hard, means they have an extra set of mediums, which could play a role in the race, which could play a role in this and make them have at least that even if their car is bad, they might have a chance when it comes to tire strategy. So yeah, I think it's between Williams and Kick. That's my honest opinion.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I think, Williams, if you look at the pace they had in FP1, I know FP1 was not totally representative, but I think the pace they had, they showed with Carlos Sainz and with Alex Albon. And I think if I'm not mistaken, at some point Carlos Sainz was the first position
Yeah, yeah,
in one of the practices at some
Can
point.
I add
I don't
something?
remember which.
It's not related to
Yeah, no.
this race. It's in general not related to this race. Just quickly, the FIA have mandated that, or at least Pirelli have said that the next race for Qatar, the 25 laps per tire maximum. You cannot exceed that time. If you exceed that time, you get a penalty. Thoughts?
Yeah, I was actually gonna talk about that with you because I find it strange from the Prairie, but yeah, I agree with you. But let me finish my point about the midfield team's part, and then
Okay.
we're gonna get into it. I think Williams they look good. One of the practices, Carlos Sainz, like I said, he was fastest. I think Williams should be strong as they are is the track that is suits the characteristics of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Aston Martin, I don't expect them something special from them.
Mm-hmm.
Alpine, maybe Gasly. Gasly has done is always does well in Vegas in terms of qualifying, so maybe he has a chance to do something this weekend. Kick Sauber, they've looked quite decent in FP2, but again, it's difficult to say, and I think they can be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Vika, it's difficult to tell. Aston Martin, I don't expect something special from them. Has Ollie Behrman has done very very well in last couple of races, but I think it's a track that it's not going to suit Haas in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect the best of the rest to be Williams, and or maybe kicks over, but I think the better chance should be Williams.
Okay.
So moving on to as you said, the Qatar Grand Prix, where Pirelli's confirmed that you have to have 25 laps on one tire maximum, and if you exceed that, you might get a penalty. So it should be a two-stop race,
Mm-hmm.
which can make it complicated because last year in Qatar, it was a one-stop race, but we all know Qatar is a track. It can be too sensitive to the tires, as sometimes the tires can be, can capitulate, like we saw in 2021 with Gasly. We saw last year with Carlos Sainz and I think Lewis Hamilton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's a track that can be very sensitive to the tires. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think about the Pirelli choice on that? Do you think it's gonna complicate the race or is gonna make it exciting or uh, what do you think?
Uh, generally, I don't know. At least it's gonna make the race start exciting at least because people I think some teams might just put on the soft. If it's only maximum of 25 laps, why would you put on a hard or a medium? Just do the opposite. Put on a soft, fight at the start, and then put on a medium much later, and maybe put on a medium in the middle of the race, then another soft at the end. If it's gonna be a two stop, I don't know. A great example of the same rule being in place was Qatar as well in 2022, I think, or 21. I'm not sure.
You want?
The first Qatar Grand Prix, I think, where where they found that the track is over aggressive on the tires. I still don't understand why. Why would they do that? Are they seeing something strange with the tires? Is the track more abrasive this year? It just doesn't make sense. Just maybe okay, you want a two stop, we'll give you make it maximum two stop, but why would you make it a maximum of 25 laps? Are the drivers is the temps gonna be high? Is the drivers gonna suffer? I don't understand. I don't get it. I want to get it,
Do
but
you
I don't get
feel
it.
do you feel Pirelli maybe are scared? That's by doing that. Do you think Pirelli are scared of a potential tire failure?
I don't think so. I think it's more to do with the drivers, like the heat. Even though Qatar is usually cold during this time of year, but even and it's at night. I think it's maybe something to do with the drivers. Maybe I don't think it's tires. I don't think tires would be causing an issue at all. I think they shouldn't be. If they put on the hardest compound or they allocate the hardest compound for this race for Qatar, it shouldn't be called an issue and it should be a normal. Last year it was one stop without issues, no tire failures, no nothing. So why would this year be different? That's what I don't get. The tires have not changed a single bit since last year. Tires are exactly the same. I don't get it.
You, you look at also this potential tire change that Pirelli made. Do you think that also maybe, let's say, removes the strength of McLaren? Because we all know McLaren are so strong in managing the tires. Do you think that maybe stops the strength of the McLaren and maybe it can complicate the race and it can help others like let's say Mercedes or Red Bull to have a chance of winning that race better than because we all know Qatar is a McLaren track.
I think
Do you think
look,
this?
it will
Mm,
depend on the penalty. What I mean, if the penalty is only like 5 to 10 seconds, just eat up the penalty. It's fine. If it's 5 seconds, just gobble up the penalty. That's what I think. Like just
mm,
serve it and that's it. It's you're not gonna get disqualified. You're just gonna be serving a penalty while the pit's up. If you're 15 seconds ahead and you only have a 5 second penalty, you should be fine. Or 20 seconds ahead, you should be fine. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it should. If you want a straight up answer, it should not help. This is not gonna help McLaren 100%. It's gonna give. It's gonna widen the. It's gonna widen the this race to any other team. And I think McLaren
mm.
have lost their ability to manage their tires as well. That's what I think. I think McLaren have lost their ability to manage their tires a little bit, especially with the recent times. I think other teams have been able to manage their tires as much as McLaren. McLaren don't have as big of an advantage. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Maybe because I think McLaren maybe and listen when you're a team like McLaren, one strength your strength doesn't come from one specific thing, uh, which is the tire managing the tires and the tire degradation. Comes many factors. Like for example, Red Bull. They complained in the past about Red Bull about McLaren's flexi wing, and we all say no, it does not come from one thing. The car is good from can come from many parts. So will affect McLaren. It's a McLaren track,
Yeah,
but at the same time, will it complicate things? But we don't know. But I
we'll see.
think
It's only next
Pirelli,
week.
yeah, but yeah, I know it's next week. But do you think? I think like maybe Pirelli. You can clearly see Pirelli have not learned their lesson in Monaco. You know when they tried that mandatory
Oh
two
yeah,
pit stop
yeah.
and it didn't work.
Mm.
You can clearly see they didn't learn from it.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I was gonna say, but Qatar, I need to look at other races. I think it does give you an opportunity to overtake. I'm not sure. Don't ask me on that. I need to look at the other races, because I even for I like Qatar is always in a blurb. Every race in Qatar is always a blurb for me. I never watched a race where it's been exciting. I don't know, or it's memorable at least. We'll see. Uh,
last year let's say it was quite good, but it was let's say for the wrong reasons because there was the heavy penalty on Lando, which was a bit harsh in my opinion, and then you had the problems that Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton suffered with the puncture and the tires.
yeah,
Um, so yeah,
it should be a good Grand Prix overall. We'll see. It's a sprint weekend as well, so should make it interesting.
yeah. So moving on to the predictions for the Las Vegas Grand Prix 2025. Who do you think is going to get pole position and your top three prediction?
My top three prediction. I'm gonna put. This is gonna be a hard decision. I'm gonna put the same top two as the FP2, which is means Norris and Antonelli. Third, I think it's gonna be between Russell and Verstappen. I'm gonna put in Russell and Verstappen, and then that means it's gonna Russell Verstappen. That means if I had to make a choice, it'd be Russell, then Verstappen.
Hmm.
Then I'm gonna put in Piastri fifth, like usual, or fifth. Then I'm gonna put both Ferraris. So Ferrari, I'm gonna put in Leclerc, Hamilton. So six, seven. And then for eighth is gonna be Williams. It's gonna be eighth is I'm gonna put Albon, I guess. And for ninth, maybe one of Isaac Hadjar, someone like that, someone like that. And for 10th, I'm gonna put Science. That's
Mm-hmm.
my top 10.
And your pole position prediction?
Pole position. I'm gonna get pole position. It's gonna be hard. Mm, I don't know. It's gonna be. This is gonna be hard. I'm gonna put pole position. It's gonna be.